Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for Robbie Rants, and today we're going to talk about The Defenders. That's right everybody, the first season of The Defenders has come and gone, the Netflix Marvel co-production, and what did I think about it? In a nutshell, I really did enjoy it. I liked The Defenders. I would give it a solid B+, because I do think it had a very, very weak ending. Long answer, here we go. First of all, I thought that the returning characters were amazing. Charlie Cox as Daredevil, Kristen Ritter as Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, Michael Coulter as Luke Cage, and Finn Jones as Iron Fist. I thought they did an exceptional job. I will be honest with you. I know a lot of people do not like Iron Fist. I enjoyed Iron Fist. It's bad. It's so bad, and Danny Rand, his character in the Netflix shows, he cracks me up so much because he's so just serious. I have to focus my chi. I fought a dragon. Everything he says matter of factly, this crazy stuff, and I don't know, like, there's something about the character of Iron Fist in the comic books, first of all. And I do feel like I need to address this Iron Fist thing, because the number one thing I've heard against the Defenders is Iron Fist being weak. I think Finn Jones is doing a good job with what they are giving him to do. Iron Fist, when he's in the comic book solo, to me, a lot of the times he gets very self-loathing, it gets very dark, very depressing. Those are not the Iron Fist stories that I typically really enjoy. When he's with Luke Cage, however, in Heroes for Hire or any other kind of book like that, it's a different dynamic. We get a different side of Danny. We get a more lively Danny, a more fun Danny, a more positive Danny. And that's the Danny that I think we start getting in this series in those brief moments with Michael Coulter's Luke Cage. And I thought they did an amazing job building the relationship up to eventually do a Heroes for Hire TV show. That would be amazing. That would be super, super cool with Cage and with Danny and Colleen and Misty. And another thing, Misty Knight, played by Simone Missick, and Jessica Henwick, who plays Colleen Wing, are phenomenal in this series. I think they do an amazing job. Colleen was definitely the best part of Iron Fist. And when I said I liked Iron Fist, the TV series, I like it in the way that I really like bad things sometimes. It is so just preposterous. Danny is such a petulant character. He is so obviously not centered or balanced in any kind of way, and it's puzzling, and it's why it's not a great show, but something, especially Ward, just cracks me up. I laugh when I watch that show, and I have a good time watching it. But Danny is the same character in this movie, in this series, but it does start the evolution through the Luke Cage stuff, I think, and by the end of the show. And I will be spoiling stuff in The Defenders if you haven't finished it yet, so just be warned. I will spoil stuff in the future here in this video. So all that aside, I thought that Colleen was the best part of Iron Fist. She's awesome in this series as well, though not quite so cool, but that last fight she has with Bakuto was so crazy awesome. Speaking of which, Misty Knight is amazing in this show. She's good in she was great in Luke Cage, she's great in this one. I can't wait to see her in Cage Season 2 and Iron Fist Season 2. And I love the nod to the comic book where, unfortunately, she loses her arm, because in the comic book she has that cool bionic arm, and that's neat, that's neat. They've already showed pictures of her with that arm from Luke Cage Season 2. I haven't watched Jessica Jones at all, so I'm very unfamiliar with Kristen Ritter's performance as Jessica in that show. But having read Jessica Jones in the comics since her inception by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaydos, I thought she nailed that character, at least the early versions of that character when she was still a very self-destructive alcoholic type PI type thing. The character in comics has evolved a lot since then, and I hope that evolution takes place in her own series. I just haven't watched it yet, but her performance was great. She was totally funny and just spot on, and I thought it was great. Michael Coulter as Luke Cage, just the heart of the Defenders. If this was the Fantastic Four, he's the thing. Absolutely ever-loving. Luke Cage is amazing. Coulter just personifies that so splendidly. I love this show, especially for the first 6 episodes. I think the last 2 episodes are incredibly weak. What I love about those episodes, though, the cinematography, the colors, the colors that are so prevalent, especially in the Chinese restaurant episode and the ones surrounding it, when they go to the office building and then they have the fight in the Chinese restaurant. Those 3 episodes are probably 3 of the strongest episodes that Marvel Netflix has done. Period. I think it's amazing. Love that stuff. Charlie Cox, great as Daredevil again. What's cool is that everybody had their moment to shine, and not just the 4 main defenders, but other side characters like Misty and Colleen, the future daughters of the dragon, right? And Claire by Rosario Dawson, who's kind of been the thread that ties all these series together. She's awesome for the little bit that she's in here yet again, and she is just as much a defender as well as Misty and Colleen as Luke, Danny, Matt, and Jessica. Also, people like Foggy Nelson and Karen Page and the other characters from Jessica Jones, they all have their moments, and they all balance it very well, at least in those first 6 episodes. We'll get to the last 2 here in just a second, but I love the coloring, I love the fighting, I love the music. I just love how they meet up. Danny and Luke's first meeting, their first fight, that second meeting when they're sitting there trying to get along. I liked so much about the show how everything starts coming together. Sigourney Weaver's Alexandra was so awesome. I even like the hand here, though it does seem like they kind of dropped the ninja aspect just a little bit, a lot more guns and stuff like that. But they were taking all of the themes from all 4 of these different shows and throwing it into one thing, and I think it meshed up really, really well. What I did not like about the show, first of all, one thing I did like was Elektra in the first 6 episodes. Loved it. Elodie Yung plays Elektra. I think there's nothing wrong with her performance as Elektra, but Elektra is the biggest problem to me with the Defenders, and it starts in those last 2 episodes for sure. Spoilers, when she kills Alexandra, from that moment on, it lost me. The weakest thing to me, and my biggest problem with Daredevil Season 2, was their characterization of Elektra. I grew up a big Frank Miller Daredevil fan, loving the character of Elektra, and so that story resonates with me for some reason. This tragic love. She's like this hard, edged, cold-blooded assassin, and she had this thing with Matt, but the tragedy happened, and she took this dark path, and then he took his own dark path, but a little bit more heroic. She kills people for money. He beats up people for justice. But she still has this morality about her even then. And when their worlds intertwine again, I completely believe that Matt thinks that there's something to save in Elektra. And it actually happened. She redeemed herself in the comics through multiple different acts. And now she basically just kills people that she thinks deserves it. More of a Punisher type character, right? But in the show, she's nutso crazy, bloodlusty, wants to kill. What? So, if that's how they want to approach the character, that's fine. That's not what I'm digging on, and I hated that about Daredevil Season 2, was Elektra. In the beginning here, when she's being used by the Hand, which has happened in the comics plenty of times, she's awesome. She's fighting like Elektra, she's hardcore, she's avoiding the size, they're teasing it. And when she finally comes back and kills Alexandra, I didn't have a problem with that. That totally is acceptable. But then she wants to I guess because she takes over the Hand so quickly, so suddenly. These people like Madame Gao and the others, they're the most badass of the badasses out there, right? And I love the fact that they bow to Alexandra. It made Sigourney Weaver's character, who was a very Kingpin-esque character, but incredibly threatening, and I love the subtlety in her performance. But once she's gone, Elektra takes over the Hand, I guess because she never wants to die again, because she had experienced that, and that makes sense and everything. But the whole character of who Elektra is in the comics is lost on me at that point, and it makes literally no sense that Matt Murdock thinks that there is anything to redeem in this woman. I really honestly think that. In the Defenders, in the Netflix Marvel universe, the Elektra it's not the same. I don't buy the love story. I don't buy that Matt believes that there's something inside of her that's good, because no, they showed that in Daredevil Season 2 that there really wasn't. I don't know. Elektra just blew me. I can't. That's what I didn't like. That had a very, very weak ending. The cinematography got weaker. The music got weaker. The last 2 episodes felt really, really rushed to me. But I just love the first 6. The first 6 are so strong that overall I would say I like this show. But the ending is weird, and that last episode's got a lot of weird problems, things you can nitpick at, like when Jessica my lady, when we were watching it, she noticed this. Like, she holds the elevator up, right, and then lets it drop down in the shaft. It never lands. You got Madame Gao and that crazy, awesome, super cool guy. That guy, I can't remember his name, but that guy was awesome. You know who I'm talking about. The one that's laying there, dying at the bottom. It never drops. That elevator never drops, whatever. But when the building falls down, like, they're like just across the street and nothing. There's no dust, no debris, nothing crumbling on them. Everybody's just sitting there watching it. A very neat explosion. It was just a little convenient. But overall, I like The Defenders. I thought it was a really good show. It started off really, really strong, ended pretty weak, mostly because of the Elektra thing, and it felt a little rushed, some leaps, some coincidences, things like that. But overall, I did enjoy it. I want to know what you thought. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll talk to you. I love talking to you guys about comic books and movies and TV. I love talking to you guys. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe. We do a weekly comic book review every week. We sometimes do a weekly pop culture wrap-up. Didn't do one this week, not a lot of news, but I got some special treats for you this week, including the return of PCP Movie Night. So thank you guys so much for rocking with us, and we'll catch you on the flip side.